before. Is Joshua in the room? No? Okay, so Russell. Welcome.
Kia ora koutou. Now, I gather you have read my written submission?
Yes, we have.
Right, well, I won't go through that again. Just for the record, it is about me choosing to break the law to obtain a cannabis product for my friend who was dying, and I wish to affirm I would do that again. It's also about the risks and harms that were attached to that action because of the law as it stands, only some of which would be eased by the bill at hand. I'll jump to the conclusion of my submission. I ask you to consider taking a realistic and compassionate view and do the following. Use the regulations that will be attached to this bill to make its gesture towards the terminally ill work in the real world by allowing them to nominate an approved supplier. I think that at the moment the bill simply will not do what it purports to do because it leaves the legal risks surrounding everyone but the patient. Recognise that the terminally ill are not the only New Zealanders derive benefit from cannabis products and allow others with chronic conditions to register to use those products. Provide specific protection for hospitals and hospices from prosecution under Section 12 of the Misuse of Drugs Act. And I'm not sure whether this has come up in your proceedings. Section 12 is the offence of allowing a premises to be used for the commission of an offence against the Misuse of Drugs Act. And it may not, it may never happen, but it is enough to prevent hospices from allowing cannabis products to be used, which is what happened in the case of my friend. I don't think they were opposed to the use of cannabis per se. They did not want to expose themselves to the legal risk. And I really think this is something you have to look at in this bill. There is a comparison there with pill testing at festivals. And the major barrier there is that festival owners and organisers can't afford to put themselves at that legal risk. I would also be keen to see you allow a local industry to develop by allowing export of locally produced products and by not excluding those with existing convictions from participating in the industry. Someone else mentioned hikurangi before. I think what they want to do and what they're doing is inspiring, and I hope they can do it. Even though you've told me I'm not allowed to ask it, allow self-growing under regulation. I would rather see that handled under general cannabis reform, but that seems a long way away. So I would like that to, and also finally to enable research into growing and clinical trials. The trend in the developing global industry is overwhelmingly towards breeding plants with specific desired attributes. And that's an area in which New Zealand has a really strong history. And I think that would apply here as well. So I am asking you to regulate cannabis differently to other potential medicines. But maybe this is a bit easier because it is already regulated very differently to other potential medicines. It's regulated differently to other controlled drugs under the Misuse of Drugs Act. It's much harder to prescribe than morphine or heroin or even cocaine. So we have this situation. I mean, I understand the New Zealand Medical Association's position, and clinical trials are important. I have no quarrel with the pharmacist. But it's a system geared towards delivering novel products to market. And this is not what we're looking at with cannabis. It's a very different challenge. It's already in use very widely in many cases. And this is the case with my friend before he died as well. It's in use with the knowledge and approval of doctors. That is a very different situation to, say, a new drug that has been developed and is someone's intellectual property. And that's one of the reasons that you're not seeing a lot of products progress through the phase 3 trials, is because it's hard to own. You know, the current system is geared towards developing intellectual property. They are product trials of products. And I think there are various other reasons that you are going to... I think Israel may actually crack it with research, but at the moment most medical research is done in the US, which currently makes it very difficult to conduct research into cannabis and also prohibits the use of modern strains. And as I noted before, this is the whole point of growing modern cannabis strains, is for specific attributes. So I think there's a real problem with research at the moment. And I do understand what the doctors are saying, but this is not a normal situation with a new product. Any questions?
No, I think really clear. I really want to thank you about that Section 12 exemption.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah. Because
yeah.
I mean, I write about this stuff all the time, and it's fascinating, and it's nice to actually get to
Very good.
deliver something.
Well, if you see it in our select committee report as a recommendation, you'll know it's come from.
That'll be me. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.